You have 500 bucks burning a hole in your pocket. Which should you actually go with, the Series X or the Steam Deck? Let me help you pick. And that brings us to price. So right off the rip, we're looking at the Series X is going to run you about $500. And if you're looking at the Steam Deck, that can range anywhere between $400 and $649. Now, for this particular comparison, I'm going to keep it to the 256 gig model, which comes in around $529. Just to keep things as simple as possible when it comes to the overall price and these two systems. And that brings us to the power between these two systems, because this is not an apples to apples comparison. So the power discussion when you're looking at the Series X is going after 4K 120, whereas the Steam Deck is going after 720 60. So again, this is not a good comparison because the Series X is going to wipe the floor with the Steam Deck when it comes to overall power. But the first real question this really does bring up is, how much power are you actually looking for? Next up, we have games, and the Series X does have a lot of games, especially digital or physical, because it can play either or. And for me personally, the Series X is my primary console. Now, the Steam Deck is working on a lot of the compatibility, especially with Proton, so you're going to end up seeing a lot more of your Steam Deck library start to become more compatible with the Steam Deck. But as it stands today, it's, thousands over there. I think it's like over 3,000 compatible titles. Of course, this is all digital. Now, as I mentioned, not all games are compatible with the Steam Deck that are in your Steam library. So this is going to be a potential question that you're going to run into of which system do I actually want to go with? And this brings us to the second question you should really start to ponder is, what games do I want to play and where can I play them? And this brings us to our sponsor for today's video, PHIXERO. Today's video is brought to you by PHIXERO and their brand new SD card holder. Now, let's be honest, not even the 512 gig version of the Steam Deck is enough space, so you're gonna want more storage, and to do that, you're gonna need micro SD cards. Now, PHIXERO's SD card holder comes with 12 slots, and that can accommodate either a regular SD card or a micro SD card. Now, this SD card holder is waterproof, it is shockproof, and it is dustproof. And it's a convenient size because it can fit in the same compartment in my bag as my Steam Deck. Now, one more awesome thing that you can actually do with this case is you can actually double up on the amount of storage. So for example, you can have a micro SD card slotted underneath, and then you can have an SD card over the top of it, which effectively doubles the amount of storage. So you could have 12 micro SD card slots and 12 SD card slots if you really want to double up on things. Thanks again to PHIXERO for supporting this channel and this video. Now, back to the video. And this brings me to the last real big question that you're going to want to answer is whether or not you want things to be more stationary or having that portability option. Now, when it comes to this discussion, when you're looking at Steam as an example, if you have a huge Steam library already, chances are you already have a PC, so you have some of that stationary aspect already in play. So then it becomes more of a question of how much portability do you really want out of the Steam games that are actually compatible with the Steam Deck. Now, I personally have over 100 games on my Steam library, whereas other people have over 1,000, so it's not as big of a deal for me personally, but roughly 20% of my library is compatible with the Steam Deck, which means only part of your library may be compatible with the Steam Deck, at least at this point in time. Now, the Series X and the Xbox ecosystem in general is starting to target more things. So you have PC, where you have PC Game Pass, you have Game Pass Ultimate, which actually includes the PC Game Pass, and you also have the streaming aspects of that, where you have console streaming and you have the internet streaming. So it gives you more opportunity now than it did even a couple years ago, where the Series X ecosystem is allowing you more functionality and more portability using your phone, your tablet, your console, all these different things. So what this really comes down to is the third major question that you're going to want to answer for yourself is how much portability, and is portability a big thing for me? If not, then the Series X might end up being a better option for you. Whereas if portability is a big deal for you, then the Steam Deck may, depending on what your Steam library looks like, be a better option. So, which system is the right thing for you? It'll come down to those three different questions. How much power do I want out of the gaming system? Do I want 4K and the best fidelity I can get out of a console? Or is portability a bigger thing for me where 720 60 is going to be good enough? Second one is, what kind of games do I actually want to play, and where do I have access to those particular games? And will I be playing a lot of this stuff more stationary? Is it something that I'm going to be playing it in bed, or is it something I'm going to be playing more on the go? How are you actively going to be playing these games? Those are the three questions that you're really wanting to get answers to to make the best decision possible. Now, for me personally, I would go with the Series X just because I just have more accessibility with the games and I want the best fidelity I can get out of the system itself. Now, again, this is if I only had to pick one option, but that's me personally. But there is one caveat. Over the time with the Steam Deck, there is the ability to get Game Pass working on it. It does take some working around, but you can get it done. And I do see this being an area where you'll be able to play Game Pass. I don't know if it natively is the best word to use here, but you will get compatibility eventually to get that Game Pass working on the Steam Deck, which then is a best of both worlds where I can get all my Game Pass games playing on the Steam Deck. I can get my Steam library playing on the Steam Deck. If that were to happen and you actually had that kind of functionality, in that case, I would probably pick the Steam Deck over the Series X just because I have that portability and I can play it wherever I want. Now, regardless if you're going to go with the Steam Deck or the Series X, make sure to check out my video on Jedi Fallen Order and see if it's a game that you're going to enjoy on either platform, and I'll see you over there.